Hello and welcome to Baking Basics for Beginners using just a simple quick bread recipe. I'm going to show you how to measure correctly and basically just use the correct ingredients at the right time when reading a recipe. So we're going to start with reading through your recipe completely every time before you begin to bake. Know what ingredients you're going to need and what directions are going to need to be followed ahead of time, and this makes it easier so that you don't make a mistake while reading through. Next, you're going to make sure that you have a clean workspace and wear an apron. Aprons help not only to protect your clothing, but also your clothing can sometimes not be as sanitary as you might think. And so it's just always a good idea to wear an apron and have some clean dish towels around so that you can clean your workspace as you go and keep it sanitary. You're also going to want to make sure that you gather all the necessary ingredients and tools for the job. Some typical things that you'll need for baking are different size bowls. Notice whenever you make a quick bread, you need a large bowl, a smaller bowl, and an even smaller bowl. The large bowl is usually for your dry ingredients like flour, sugar, salt, baking soda, baking powder. That usually goes into the large bowl together. In the smaller bowl, you usually have less of the wet ingredients or things that have moisture in them. Some things that would be a wet ingredient would be things like butter, shortening, even things like brown sugar or oil. Those are going to be your wet ingredients. Milk, water, all of those. And eggs are also included in a wet ingredient. As you can see here, I've lined up some tools that we'll need for this particular recipe. I laid out a masher for the bananas. This is a straight edge spatula that helps you to level off the flour or sugar when it's heaping in the measuring cup as opposed to being completely level. A wire whisk for mixing and incorporating air, a rubber scraper for scraping batter out of the bowl, and a fork for if you want to mash your bananas with a fork because you don't have a masher, you could use that. We have large dry measuring cups and we have smaller measuring spoons. And of course we will need, I don't know if you can see it here, but there's a liquid measuring cup. And we'll scroll down and I'll show you what I mean. Masher, straight edge spatula, wire whisk, rubber scraper, fork, dry measuring cups, and our smaller measuring spoons can be used for both dry and wet ingredients. We also have a sifter. Sometimes you might need to sift flour or powdered sugar if the recipe asks you to do so. So these are all very useful tools for baking, and of course your different size bowls. You always want to make sure that you keep baking staples on hand and make sure that they're not old or haven't been in the cupboard for too long as they can expire, especially things like leavening agents. Leavening agents are things that make your product rise, like baking soda or baking powder. They can expire, and that means that your product may not rise. Before beginning your recipe, always preheat the oven completely. If it calls for the oven to be set to 375, make sure it is at 375 before placing any of your baked product in there. If it's not all the way preheated, it will prevent it from rising all the way. Here's an example of the wet ingredients that we'll need. As you notice, I try to do one at a time. The wet ingredients first into my small bowl, and then we'll go with the dry ingredients into their bowl. So we're going to start with our eggs, brown sugar. When you do measure brown sugar, you want to pack it into the cup so that when it comes out, it's exactly the shape of the cup. You would do the same thing if you had to measure butter without a stick that had measurements on it like this one, or shortening that had measurements on it like this one. If it just came in a bowl or a package, you'd want to make sure that it was packed until it was the shape of the cup in order to get the correct measurement. Eggs should always be cracked in a separate, smaller bowl first. This ensures that the egg is good, it has no blood in it, and no shells fall into your recipe. The bananas should be mashed separately until they're the consistency of a liquid. And again, you can use a masher, but if you don't have one, just use the back of a fork and smash it until it's the consistency of liquid. Here we have our small bowl with the wire whisk in it, And that's going to help us to incorporate air, which is also something that helps our product to rise. And then when we measure our oil, we're going to use a liquid measure. Don't use your standard cups for that. Liquid measures help you to get an accurate eye level reading. So we're going to use that. With our dry ingredients, again, we're going to set everything aside from the wet ingredients, and we're going to get out all the dry and make sure that they're ready to go now. We're going to use our large bowl, our dry measures, our straight edge spatula. As you can see, I leveled off the flour to make sure that it wasn't a heaping cup. It should be a nice level cup. Here's our smaller spoons, and that was what we were going to use our baking soda in, the smaller measurements. And again, I leveled it off with the straight edge spatula. We have a sifter here in the picture. I just want to show you how to read the correct measurements for that, but our recipe does not ask us to sift. Here I have all the ingredients laid out that we would need for this particular recipe. If a recipe asks you to sift something, it may list it two different ways. If it says the cup first, like 1 cup flour sifted, that means measure out 1 cup first, then run it through the sifter and put it into the bowl. If it says sifted flour 1 cup, that means sift out a bunch of flour and then measure it into a cup. It does make a difference in how much flour actually gets measured out and put in there. Sifting is to help your flour become lighter and fluffier. Our particular recipe today does not require you to sift. And here's an example of mashing your banana. It should be the consistency of a liquid when you're done. So bananas that are mashed are considered a liquid. Once we've done our ingredients, we measured out dry and wet, and we did them separately, as you can see. Dry into the large bowl always. Large bowl, dry ingredients. Small bowl, wet ingredients. So in here we have our flour, sugar, baking soda, and salt. And over here we have our banana, egg, oil, and any other wet ingredients that need to go in there. And we whisked those really well. Then we mixed these really well with the rubber scraper. It's important to always make what you call a well in the center of the dry. If you make a well in the center of the dry, it makes it easier to incorporate the wet ingredients when pouring it in, like so in the picture. Then we're going to fold the wet into the dry until combined, but do not overmix. Overmixing causes the product to be very dense and hard, so we just want to mix it until it's combined, and the batter will probably be lumpy. Next, we're going to place our mix into a greased muffin tin or use muffin liners. You can use an ice cream scoop if you have one. That's another good tool to keep on hand. If you don't have one, that's okay. You can use a spoon and a rubber scraper, but you never fill it all the way full. Only 3/4 of the tin so that the leavening agents do their job and it rises and it's not overfilled in the tin. As you can see, by keeping our ingredients separate, mixing the dry together and the wet together, and then incorporating them into one, we had a batter that came out nice and fluffy. They baked evenly, and what we did was we set the timer for, now the recipe called for it to be set anywhere from 18 to 20 minutes. However, I always set the timer for less time than what the recipe says. You can always pop a product back in, but once it's burnt, you can't redo that. So I set the timer for 16 minutes and checked it after. And what do you know? It was done at 16 minutes. Always set the timer for less time than what the recipe recommends. But do not keep opening the oven door to check frequently. This releases the heat, and we don't want to do that. In order to make sure that the product is done, check the baked product with a toothpick like we did here, or you can stick a butter knife in the center to ensure doneness. As soon as the product is baked, remove it and place it on a cooling rack. Circulating air around the baked product helps it not to be soggy on the bottom, and it also removes a lot easier if you do it right away. As you can see, if you know the basics of using the correct measurements and the correct ingredients and making sure that you know the baking basics, what tools to use and setting your timer, you can always understand the basics of any basic recipe and you can enjoy any delicious treat. So I hope this video helped. and enjoy.